Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Leaf News. I am Representative District One Cameron Andrews here today to interview D2 House Representative, former D7 House Representative, Mr. Panda. Hello, Mr. Panda.
Hello.
And joining me today is a member of DNC leadership, Vice Presidential nominee for the Ryan Service Campaign, Terrell McCann. Hello, Terrell.
Howdy.
So I'd like to start by saying to everybody, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. It'd be very much appreciated. So, Terrell, why don't you start us off?
Okay. Mr. Panda, first, how are you?
Good.
Okay. I believe you're running for D2 House, right?
Yes.
Okay. If I'm not mistaken, D2 is Oregon, Washington, places up there.
Yeah, and Nevada and Colorado and
Nevada, Colorado.
the state
Okay.
above.
Okay.
Arizona.
So, let me ask you this then. First, why are you running for District 2 House? That's first.
I believe that I would be better. I believe I would be a better. When I first started, I thought I'd be a better representative than Mish Fox. I thought I could better the people of District 2. Now I'm running because I believe that Mr. Raging Potato and Hope Hunter won't be right people for District 2.
So, a follow up. So you went from District 7 to District 2.
Yes.
Which is moving from the Midwest all the way, pretty much all the way out west.
Yeah.
Essentially, what do you promise to do? Not pretty much promises, but what do you what do you hope to do if you are indeed elected to be the next representative of District 2 for the people of District 2?
Environmental stuff. A lot of the states within District 2 are states like Washington and like states like Montana and all those. If climate change continues, they will also be hit it will be hit in a very negative way. And I believe if we protect the environment, it will lessen the impact of what is to happen. Because at this point, climate change we can't stop, but there are ways to reduce its worst effects on people.
All right, Cameron.
Terrell, check PMs in 1 second. I have to PM you something. But okay, Mr. Panda. Of course, you're in the primary with current D2 representative Raging Potato. Of course, he was appointed. Why do you feel like he does not deserve the seat?
For two reasons. Number one, me and Mr. Potato don't have very different beliefs, and I believe his priorities are significantly more different than mine when he gets elected. But I also think that I want him to win an election. If he it's fine if he gets appointed, but if he's to do anything, let me rephrase this. I think the reason I'm challenging him is I would want. This is how should I put that? I don't know how to put words for this. I don't want him to be. He got appointed, so I don't. So I want him to win his election, and I'd be fine with that. But until then, I believe I am better. For D2. Okay. How should I explain? More or less, he got appointed. He didn't get elected, and I believe that representatives who are appointed, yes, they can try for re-election, but how should I? This is confusing. Sorry about this. So more or less, I don't believe his appointment was right, and I don't believe his views are right for the people of District 2. That's what I was trying to get at.
Okay, Terrell, got any questions?
Not really.
Okay. Of course, a lot of people are calling this next House election. It looks like it's going to be a Republican majority. Let's say you do get into the House, and it is a Republican majority. Would you work bipartisanly with the other party?
Absolutely.
Can you explain more? Oh, sorry.
The only way to first of all, the only way to get something done is to work with that majority. I mean, if I want to get anything in my agenda done, I'll have to work with the Republican majority. Last time I was in the House, it was the Democrats had the majority, so I didn't have to do much bipartisanship. Also, the Democrats had held every seat, but if the Republicans do have the majority, I do intend working bipartisanly with most of both the representatives, with other representatives.
Okay, so if you win the primary, you'll be facing Kobe Hunter.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on him and his beliefs?
Yeah, I think he's a little too conservative. He is a mainstream Republican. He's, from what it seems, his beliefs don't, what's the word, like, agree with mine in a very strong way. For example, his stance on guns is significantly more conservative than I think it should be, and so that's my biggest thing with him. He's significantly more conservative than I think than I am, and I think that's the biggest reason I wanted to challenge him.
Okay, so what's your opinion on the current House?
On the current House,
Which includes me, Raging Potato, Calvin Hawthorne, and a bunch of other people.
I don't really know because I've been looking at some bill signings, but I don't know what's happening more or less in that House. I've not heard much. My opinion of it's neutral. I mean, I can't judge if I haven't heard much, but
what is your opinion that there's like 2 vacant seats?
Whose vacancies are they again?
It's Ricky's and Brett's. Originally there was a third, but then that got solved.
Oh, so I think those need to be filled either in a special election. I mean, the House elections are in 2 weeks, so I don't believe that they don't believe they should be open for 2 weeks. They should be appointed by either Tom can appoint them or there can be a special election, but I don't think they should be closed before the general. Otherwise, it'd be 2 weeks with 2 representatives, not 2 seats with no one in them, and I don't think that's very good.
Okay, so a lot of people said in your first term as representative that you weren't really that active, and you really didn't write many bills.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have to say to that?
2 things. Number one, that was not the best period of time for me, personally, for a bunch of reasons. Number two, about the bills thing, I have multiple bills written and ready, so if I do get elected, I do intend on what's the word? Announcing them to the House and proposing them, and I hope they do get passed. But this time, I will be completely prepared, completely active, and completely ready for my term.
Okay, so let's just say let me just ask this: do you think you can win your primary, and why?
Okay, so think about the primaries. I don't know if I can win. I've been polling. I have been asking a lot of Democrats. They say they support me, but there's the incumbency factor. Then there's the other factor that no one votes in primary polls. So there's 8 votes cast, right? And I'm leading by a nice margin. But that probably won't tell anything about the general. And so I don't know if I'm gonna win. I'm hoping I win. And from that one poll, it's looking like I'll win, but I honestly don't know.
Okay, so course, D2 is a very it encompasses a lot of the Northwest. So first off, what state are you running out of? I just want to know that.
Washington.
Okay, and of course, you're originally from
Indiana.
Indiana. So why should the people of this region elect you and not someone else if you were not as familiar with this region?
Because I believe I'm better. I do better for this district than Raging Potato and Kobe Hunter.
Anything else to add to that, or no?
No, not really.
Okay, so what is your opinion on all the stuff that's happened in the Senate?
Okay, I was very angry about that. Dank, I don't know why he got expelled. I don't know anything about it, but like, I'm just annoyed because he basically got kicked out for no reason. I don't think he did anything wrong, and I don't know who voted for his removal or how the process happened. Was it I don't know how the process happened or whatever, but I do not approve of it, and I think it's extremely bad. And I think it was a big reason a lot of people are leaving Mac. This is just a big problem because every time when these scandals happen, 3 or 4 people leave Mac on average, and if in it's not good for Mac. It's significant. It's not good for the whatever house or whatever. Yeah, if it's the House or the Senate, it's not good for that either. It causes too much drama. It causes a lot of tension between people. So yeah, just I think it's very bad, and I don't approve of what happened.
Okay, can you of course there is a huge industry in D2 of farming. Can you explain what you'd do for the farming industry if
Um, I
elected?
I'd write more environmental laws because what's going to happen in the next 100 years is the global warming, which is real, will start affecting agriculture and for other types of farming. And the second that happens, it's gonna cause more heat waves, worse for crops and animals. It's just for livestock. It's not gonna be good for anyone. And if I believe if we start writing more of these bills, it will be more of a preventive measure, making the effects of climate change not as bad for that industry.
Okay, just let everyone know if you have any questions for Mr. Panda, please ask them in the YouTube chat. It'd be very much appreciated. So, Mr. Panda, what do you, how do you feel about the current state of, how do you feel about the current state of, since D2 borders the northern border in Canada, what is your opinion on the northern border?
I think like any border, it should be protected, but I don't think there should be as much government spending there as there should be in the southern border. And yeah, that's my yeah. And if you're gonna ask about my views on immigration and stuff, just to go along with that, I believe we do need tougher border security, but I do not believe that we should deport thousands of legal immigrants. I think it should be more like we give them a way to stay here, even if they're contributing and being fine with if they're helping our society, being a better society. I think they should stay, and I think we should give them a path to citizenship.
Sorry, so, can you, just say what oh, wait. Ryan Services asked, when do you believe that the U.S. intervention? Sorry, let me just start that. Ryan Service asks, when do you believe that U.S. intervention in foreign affairs is warranted?
I think that it should be allowed when either someone from the United States is affected, like an ambassador or a group of people, For example, the war in Yemen. I really think that would be an example. I don't support that. I don't think it should be there, and I don't think the U.S. should go into conflicts where it doesn't affect them. I mean, in the sense, like for example, the Iraq War. That, in my opinion, should not have happened. Yes, the CIA told, yes, thought there were nukes there and everything, but in the U.S. was not affected in any way, and I don't believe the U.S. should go to war unless itself or any of its allies would be in imminent danger by said country.
Okay, thank you, Ryan, for that question. Very much appreciated. So, of course, with that, what would, how would you feel, what would you do to try to help all the conflicts that happen in the Middle East if elected to House?
I would probably uh, help. I would support any effort for foreign aid. I don't believe that should be restricted. I would also, if vote against any proposition or to go to war against the Middle East. That region is already as broken as it can be, and I think war would not help. Yeah, that's my opinion on it. So more or less, I would not support going to war there, and I would not. The only thing I would support with U.S. intervention there is for foreign aid.
Okay, so what is your opinion on the current state of have I asked you about your opinion on the president yet?
No, you haven't.
What's okay, let's ask that question. What's your opinion on President Evans?
I think he's a good president. In the upcoming presidential race, I am currently undecided, but if I had to vote, I'd vote for Evans. Um, what I some of his bill signings, etc., and what he supported and stuff, I think they're good causes, and I think he should continue to be in office.
Okay. Another question from Ryan Service. He asks now, do you believe that the U.S. should be given foreign aid? Should be giving, sorry, foreign aid to states like Pakistan who sponsor terrorism abroad?
No, only countries that um, actually need. For example, Syria. Well, the not Assad and his people, but like what's happening in Syria is not good, and the biggest people, thousands of people have already died, and once everything hopefully quiets down there, um, I would completely support foreign aid to places like Syria, like in Yemen, if that war, or during the war, if we're able to do that, I'd be very happy about that. For example, the UN itself said that it's a humanitarian crisis there, and I believe if the United States could help the people there, I believe it should.
Okay, so what would um what would you do to sorry, let me just think of a question. Okay, can you give us your stance on healthcare?
I support Obamacare and its expansion. I do not support single payer, but yeah, and I also am for Planned Parenthood and stuff. I don't believe it should be like cut because because it's not just about abortion. It's about screenings, etc. Stuff that are um, extremely good for just, a woman's health.
Okay, so what is your opinion on um the Defense Department and military spending?
I think it should go down. In my opinion, I don't think it should be as high as it is. I mean, look at the rest of the world; they get along fine. And another big reason we are in has look at the rest of the world; they're doing fine with a lot less military spending and defense spending. So I think we should cut that a little bit.
Okay, so would you be willing would you be willing to sorry, I was trying to get another question, but what's your opinion on education?
I do, but I'm against Common Core. I think the U.S. education system needs a massive revamp in significant ways. I mean, in everything from the way things are taught to become more specialty to certain people's needs. For example, now we are realizing that people learn differently than other people, and I think there should be an education um, revamp and to accommodate many of these changing needs.
Okay. I mute myself. No, I didn't mute myself. Okay. What would you do? Are you fine to wrap it up soon? Sorry.
What? Pardon me?
Are you okay to wrap it up soon?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay. So what would be the if you get elected, what would be the first bill you propose?
That would be the Food Pantry and Homeless Shelter Act, which I've written. It effectively helps fund food pantries and homeless shelters and makes them better places, makes them for people who are homeless or need to get help them get an education, help them get a job, um, lower unemployment, prevent people from staying on the streets where they could get, bad stuff like drugs, give them meals, stuff like that. I'll get you actually the specificities.
Okay, just to remind everyone, the primaries for the House and presidential elections are this weekend, and next weekend are the general election. So make sure you go and vote and exercise your right to vote. It's your right and your freedom to do so. So what?
Yeah, you can go.
No, go. Say what you're saying. Say what you're
No,
gonna
it's
say.
fine. You can go.
No, well, what does the bill do exactly?
Oh, yes. I have the list here. So, it would basically, counties with, so food pantries must have staff who can, who are medically trained for illnesses. They must have classes that teach for people so they can finish like high school or whatever, so they can start working and start getting the income. What's the illegal immigrants can also come here to start filling out stuff for citizenship if they don't fill out the documents in 7 days.
Sorry, you're cutting off. Can you just go back? You're cutting off. Can you just go back a bit?
Yeah, where'd you hear me cut off?
Yeah, you got cut off. You're cutting off.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Government homeless shelters will have classes that teach humanities and STEM, so people can start getting an income and get employed. It will lower unemployment rate. Undocumented immigrants are also welcome to get these services, but if they come in, they must fill out a legal process to become citizens within 7 days. If they don't fill those documents in 7 days, they can be detained by ICE. All shelters must have documents that legally fill. The U.S. government will spend $290 million funding on this act each year. So that's the core of it, but there's a bunch of other like tiny things I added in. That's the bill I'd probably introduce first.
Okay, we're gonna end this one now. Can you just give a closing statement?
Yeah, so remember the primaries are next Saturday, so get out and vote, and remember, vote Mr. Panda for District 2 House, and thank you, Cameron.
Okay, I'd like to thank Mr. Panda for coming here, letting me interview him. It was a great honor. I also like to thank Charles McCann for the couple questions he asked Mr. Panda, and that's it, folks. Thanks for watching Daily News, the top news network in Mac, and see you guys soon. I'm Cameron Andrews, Run Representative, signing off. See you guys later.